Hello, friends. It's your girl, Meg. Um, I am participating in a mindset reset challenge with my business coach, Coach Jenny, and today's day one. So each night at the end of my workday, I am going to hop on here and share with you one way that I had to reset my mindset about something. What up, friends? Marina's here. Jennifer's here. What up, Jennifer? Welcome. So I'm talking about this mindset reset challenge that I'm taking. And so today is day one. And basically, I am talking about how I had to come to terms with my fear of success. Right. And so what exactly does that mean? So like some of you may know this about me, some of you may not. I am a mindset coach. I help people with mindset. Jennifer, can you hear me all right? If you're still here, guys, let me know you can hear me. Cool. Just give me some likes or loves or anything like that. Hey, Jenny, Coach Jenny in the house. Jenny is the leader of the Mindset Reset Challenge. And so my day one here is about how I came to terms with my fear of success. So some people are rolling in here. And this was a big one for me. Coach Jenny and I have been working together for some time. Lots of love from her. Thank you so much. And this was a big one for me because what I realized this week is that a lot of what held me up from being successful in my own business, in coaching, or maybe in anything that I ever really committed myself to was my fear of success. And so I had this mindset that always looking at what would happen if I failed, as opposed to what would happen if I was a raving, outrageous, awesome success. Hey, Veronica, welcome. And so I'm looking at my mindset reset. Jen, my whole brain is fried, but okay. Mindset reset challenge day one. I'm going to come in here at the end of my day every day and do a live video and talk about how I've adjusted some viewpoint in my brain. And so today is my fear of success. And so I had this story for a really long time that the only way that I could make money was by struggling really hard, working really fucking hard, or by somebody else cutting me a check. My success was totally based off of other people's success. I think my video might be logging up here a little bit. So I'm going to try and close some of these apps that I have up here because I've got, oh my God, there's way too much going on my computer right now. So bear with me a second, guys, as I clear some of this up. Okay, so mindset reset challenge. Basically, hey, Alice. Okay, so the lag on my side is just on my side, so I'm just going to keep rolling with it. Basically, I had all of these stories that number one, to make money, I had to work really, really, really freaking hard. Or number two, that I could only make money through somebody else's business, which now that I'm stepping out into my own and I've opened the doors to my, virtual online coaching practice, I realize it's just a load of shit. It's just some bullshit story that I have told myself to keep myself from success. And when you really think about it, who would have thought that a fear of being successful would actually be a thing? And it really is. I find I'm not the only person that has struggled with this. If you struggled with this, drop it in the chat. It is conditioned thinking, right, Jenna? We're conditioned to think that you have to log an 8-hour day. You have to go in and you have to suit up and there needs to be sweat and blood and maybe some tears, definitely tears if you're working on my tip, the way I was. And that you can have fun. Right. And I think I have a history of radio. So I worked in a radio station for 7 years. And I think I stayed there for so long because I had this idea that I was unsuitable for the workplace and that this was the only workplace that I was ever going to be successful at. And so Jenny shared the fear of success is very, very common. She says we're afraid of the responsibility that comes with it. Right. Because like we can so easily go like, oh, I'm never going to be successful. Nobody's ever going to want what I have. Like, I don't know what I'm doing, right? Like Jenny is the queen leader of the inner naysayer. She has an awesome book called Hilda. She'll take you through all the different types of Hildas that are out there. But I had like all of these stories, right? But the story that I wasn't owning for a really long time, and maybe up until like a few months ago, was that I was also scared of what I would do if I had a calendar booked out, if I had money coming in the bank, if I had large electronic deposits hitting my PayPal account. Like, holy shit, what would I do? And I'll tell you what I would do now. My mindset reset has me imagining I would hire a virtual assistant. I would hire an associate coach. I would bring other people in to help me, right? And like, whoa, what an incredible problem to have, right? If you watch my video that I posted on my business page today, it was all about deciding if something's going to be difficult or if it's going to be figure outable. And isn't success such a figure outable thing, right? You have more resources, you have more time, you have all of the things you need, all of these ingredients, and like you're baking them into a freaking cake. And so like my big day one thing that I have to share, because like any coach or any business owner that gets on the internet and tells you that they haven't like scraped their knees, that they haven't fallen on their face, that they haven't learned, if they're just like, you know, buttoned up exactly, you know, all brushed over, looking like they're living the best lives. I mean, smoke and mirrors, friends, right? Like the real talk is that like I've learned from people who have put their feet to the fucking fire and are able to own all of the lessons that they had to learn along the way. Like I did not get to coaching by just, you know, showing up and checking a box, right? I have worked in organizations. I've worked for small businesses. I've worked for myself. And like, I'm at this place to tell you that like, if you can get control of what's going on between your ears and put a voice to it and disembody it from yourself, you can full well do whatever the hell you want to do, right? Because in the words of my lovely friend, Stephen Pressfield, the only thing standing between you and your dream is a bullshit story about why you can't get what you want, right? I was on a training this weekend and there was a woman, Joanna Voss, on there, and she had this quote and she said, you know, move your feet while you pray. Move your feet while you pray. And that kept hitting me. Move your feet while you pray. Move your feet while you pray. And it was this, is that nothing comes from just subscribing to stories. Nothing comes from just saying like, I never get my way. I don't get what I want. Everything's so hard. I'll never have the resources or this or that or anything like that. Move your feet while you pray is about digging into the hustle that's inside of you, that fucking life force energy, and pumping it into whatever it is that you want. You know, she also shared a story about Elizabeth Gilbert. You all know Elizabeth Gilbert, Eat, Pray, Love, Manuscript. Let me tell you about Elizabeth Gilbert. Elizabeth Gilbert couldn't hustle it as a writer full-time before quitting her day job. So she woke up an hour before she had to leave for her commute and wrote. She wrote on her commute to work. She went to work, she came home, she wrote for 2 hours before she went to bed. And like, there's something about this, right? Like, there's a quote by Oprah that says, energy is the essence of life. Everybody is given the same amount of it, and it's up to you to decide how you're going to dull it out each day, how you're going to use it. I have the same 24 hours as somebody who's making millions and millions of dollars a year. The difference between that person and me, maybe 3 months ago, besides our bank account, is what's going on between our ears, what we give our power to, where we spend our time, what stories do we subscribe to? Because I no longer subscribe to a story that I am fearful of being successful. I believe, number one, that I can have everything I want if I show up and do the work, step out, stay turned on, tuned in, tapped in, and show up and do the work, right? If you show up and you do the work, step by step, bite by bite, guess what? You're going to take that project down. And it's also acknowledging these things that you have to come to terms with, right? You have to come to terms with like the reality that you're not perfect. And that was a big one for me. We'll go into that one yesterday or tomorrow. You know, the life and times of a recovering perfectionist, okay? Tomorrow. For today, it's about accepting the fact that success is what you define it as. Maybe it's your bank account. Maybe it's how many clients you get to work with. Maybe it's just the fact that you can pay your bills and have them covered and still travel a little bit, or still pay off your credit card bills, or pay down your student loans. You know, success is defined on your terms. And so what was I really scared of the whole time? I think I was scared of what my life would look like, that I would be out of integrity, that I wouldn't be of service, that I wouldn't have enough energy, enough time, that I wouldn't be perfect, that I would fuck something up, and that people wouldn't like me. Thank you, Cindy. And welcome to everybody else who's tuning in here. Drop your name in the chat. Give me some likes. Let me know. If you're watching the replay, let us know. Are you afraid of success? Is there something that you want that you can't have? It's probably just a story. There's probably just some kind of old pattern, old conditioning, something along the way that got you stuck. Corey in the house. Corey says, I fuck up all the time. Me too. The difference between Megan fucking up like a year ago and Megan fucking up now is that like I learned from Jenny and the Get Out of Your Own Way program, like I only have so many fucks to give. And if I'm going to spend them on like beating myself up over things that I fucked up around, like, ain't no time for that. Right? The conditioning that you're living with right now, a lot of it was set up in the first 7 years of your life. I learned that from my friend Penny this weekend when we were chatting. And so with that conditioning in the first 7 years of your life was a lot around struggle, was a lot around hard work, was a lot around scarcity, right? Was a lot around anything that you don't subscribe to today. There is some unpacking of that stuff that you have to do, right? There is some rewiring of that stuff that you have to do, some letting go. And the only person that's going to say, like, this is a Mel Robbins thing too, I think, like the only person that's going to save you from this shit is you, right? Nobody is going to come in and be like, well, maybe me, be like, are you afraid of being successful? But like in your day job, if you're not hitting your sales marks, if you're not meeting the bar to get your raise, like what's that all about? You know, because I see so many people, especially women in corporate, who are kind of like downtrodden, are getting paid less because they just can't ask for what they fucking want. They just can't put the language to their worth. Like I think back to when I was in radio, I asked for so many raises that they basically told me that I couldn't get a raise anymore. And so I left. That's the times that we live in now. We do not live in the, you get a job, you get a pension, you sign up, you stay there for 40 years. That struggle. You got to grab your briefcase and go out to work every day and be part of like the downtrodden work crew. I mean, you can be that if you want to be that. And it was hard because not only did I have to own my fear of success to myself, before I ever got there, I had to own it to my parents because I realized that, and I love you, Mom and Dad, but I realized that I was subscribing to a pattern that was modeled to me, right? My parents were like hard union workers. My mom worked night work. My dad worked for the post office. My mom worked for the telephone company. Like, they're in retirement right now. They are probably the last of a generation that will enjoy retirement the way that they are right now. I would love to set myself up for some type of that retirement, but my fear of success isn't going to get me to that retirement, isn't going to let me retire by the time I'm like 40. It's only 6 years away. I don't really want to retire, real talk. I love my work. I love working with people. I love making an impact. I would love to write a book, do more speaking engagements. Actually, my book is in progress. So what up about that? But that's the thing, right? Like, you can't entertain how big you can possibly be if you're mired in a fear of success. And like, so while I was like unable to, because like, let's be honest, like my virtual coaching practice is open now, but like I tried to do this in 2013, 2014, 2015. But instead I opened a scrapbooking business. Instead I was, doing this. I was playing small, and everybody around me was like, oh, you're going to be so successful. You're going to be this. You're so animated. You've got so much energy. And I'm like, huh? Who is this person you see? And like Coach Jenny and I, we've had this conversation like for years. You can let go of your fear of success when you learn to love exactly who you are, exactly where you are. Let me say it again. You can let go of your fear of being successful when you accept yourself and love yourself exactly as you are, exactly where you are. With all your flaws, with all your mistakes, with all your missteps. When you learn to look at yourself in the mirror and say, that's who I was, this is who I am, and here's who I want to be. And the way that you get clear on that stuff is by getting to the root of what's true to you. Staying in integrity with your core values. How do you know you're out of integrity? It shows up in your body. It shows up in your mindset. It's in your fucking gut. It's in your throat. It's when you're punching a clock and you're wanting something more. This is not a call to quit your day job. Please keep gainfully employed. It is good for you and your family and your well-being and your finances to stay gainfully employed. But that doesn't mean you can't move your feet and pray. That you can't work and hustle and put in the extra time to make your vision a reality. You got to feel it. You got to plan it. You got to strategize it. And then you got to activate it. You make it fucking happen. The world, the universe, the people in your awareness want to see you be in your zone of genius. I can tell you that because I have received more outreach, more messages, more love for what I'm doing now than anything I have done in my entire life. Than anything. Because I believe it in my core. Because I know when I'm doing these videos and when I'm sharing what I've learned and helping you expedite your learning, when I'm coaching you, that I am in my zone of genius, that I am divinely intended to be here to give this over. I'll be totally honest with you. Sometimes my mouth is moving and I don't know where it comes from because it's just me speaking from my heart. I don't script these videos out. I don't plan them ahead of time. And I realize that this is my gift. This is my skill set. And I've taken it for granted for so long. I don't do that anymore because I'm not going to hide. I'm not going to be afraid of being successful. I'm going to own that shit. And in turn, help other people do the same, to shine fucking bright, right? To shine as brightly as we are divinely intended to shine so that we can each be the beacon, right? Be exactly who you are. Be okay with changing your mind. Be okay with shining so bright that people might gasp and say, oh, is it a little too much? And you can turn around and say to them, I am not too much. I am exactly enough. So go yourself. Because it is a wonderful thing to be an outrageous human being. It is a wonderful thing to be on the leading edge of feeling so aligned to what you subscribed to when you came into this awareness. Like you can have fun every single day, right? Your entire phone could be wiped out. You could lose your computer. Happened to me yesterday, and you can still have fun. You could still enjoy a good meal. You could still go to bed happy. Because you aren't what happens to you. You are what you believe. And in a mindset reset challenge, the lesson you will hear over and over and over from me in this is that mindset is the heartbeat of success. I tell my coaching clients this. I tell my axe throwing students this. Yes, I am a competitive axe throwing coach in like temporary retirement until I find another place to teach. But that's it, right? You're teaching somebody who's afraid of an axe how to throw an axe at a board. That's what they look. And when you tell them, do you imagine, can you envision in your mind the axe coming out of your hand and going in the board? But what if the axe came out of your hand and went into the board? Mindset is the heartbeat of success. And when you have the right mindset, when you can envision yourself being successful and it doesn't look painful and it looks fun and it looks freeing and it looks like you're living in your core values in integrity every damn day, it doesn't become so scary anymore. So on that note, this is a little bit of a longer form video. The Mindset Reset Challenge will do that to you. Here's the day one. That's right, Corey. Those damn what if monsters. Day one of the Mindset Reset Challenge. It's going to be a week long. I'm even going to show up over the weekend. Watch me. Don't believe me, just watch. Thank you to my coach and mentor, Coach Jenny. She is awesome. To my fellow badasses in the program that I am part of with Coach Jenny. Jenna's here. Jen's here. I don't know if anybody else is here from the program, but like these are women that hold me accountable and keep my feet to the fire every single day. I wouldn't be where I am without them. For all of the other people that are here that have worked with me or supported me or cheerleaded me along the way, so much deep gratitude for each of you. These videos are going to keep coming out. I'm going to drop a link to subscribe to my email list if that's something that you want to do and stay in touch and get some of this content rolled out to you and stay abreast with what's going on with me. You can also subscribe to my business page, just Meg Collier, keeping it simple on the personal branding tip, where I do videos every single morning to start your day off right during the week. You can come have coffee with me. I would love to have you. Or you can catch up on a replay. So that's what we got for today. A little Mindset Reset Challenge kickoff. Ride the wave. If the Mindset Reset Challenge is something you want to ride, you can do the same as well. What can you dismantle a belief around? What can you reset inside of your mindset? Which Hilda can you tell to go themselves this week? So with that, friends, thank you for being here. Thank you for engaging with these posts, for all the love. It is my pleasure and my honor to share this journey with you. And I just, I love all of you to bits and pieces. So enjoy your night, be well, and here's to more mindset resetting coming tomorrow. How to escape the perfectionist trap. Much love, big hugs. Talk to you soon.